What's our first main topic today?
First one up is from Terrance Bell. I love Marvel and Star Wars to death, but by a mile, the movie I've been most looking forward to this year is Quentin Tarantino's new one, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I saw the new trailer, and it didn't instill a lot of confidence in me, but then I read that it got a 6-minute standing ovation at the film festival, and that people are raving about it, calling it Tarantino's masterpiece. Do you think this could be Tarantino's best movie yet?
All right, so for those of you who don't know what Terrance is talking about, Quentin Tarantino's new film, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, just had its premiere at the Cannes Film Festival, much like his, believe it was Pulp Fiction debuted at the Cannes Film Festival so many years ago now. It's kind of weird to think about it that way. And how was the response? Like he said, it was a 6-minute, some outlets reported 7, that might have been exaggerating, but still 6 minutes, standing ovation. A 15-second standing ovation is great. A 6-minute standing ovation. Now, the responses coming out have been pretty solid as well. Here's some of the responses coming out of Cannes for this. Jason Grober writes, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, historically dubious, as many Quentin Tarantino movies are, thematically brilliant. Quentin Tarantino finds his form in a film that could win the Palme d'Or, that's the highest honor they bestow at the Cannes Film Festival, or be picked by audiences, or maybe both. Thrilling, provocative, blackly comical, intensely unsettling masterwork. Jordan Rumi writes, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Tarantino wasn't joking when he said that this was his closest to Pulp Fiction that he has come. He juggles a mosaic of characters and storylines in this one, eventually stringing them together for a relentlessly playful and touching finale. Now, not everybody was raving about it. Some people came out feeling like, I'm not quite sure what I feel about this yet. For example, Kyle Buchanan writes, there will be many, many hot takes on the new Tarantino, but I don't mind letting mine cool off on the counter a little while longer. I know it's more relaxed than I was expecting, and that DiCaprio is terrific, funny, and poignant. The rest, I'm going to mull over. And then Chris Knight writes, I'm thinking Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is going to divide the critics. Heck, I'm divided, and I'm just one critic. But I think the side of me that enjoyed it is going to win out. Now, as far as what are the critics overall feeling on this? Well, as of right now, there's only about 30 reviews have been taken in, but it is holding a 93. Now, some of the reviews are like, I'm not sure, but I like it. And then a lot of them are like, God, this is raving. This is incredible. This is insane. This is the best Quentin Tarantino ever. So it is coming in at 93 right now. We'll see really what kind of marks it's going to get once we get to around, I don't know, like 75 or 100 reviews, once that comes in like that. Rob, some of the things that I'm hearing in these reactions, though, kind of echo a little bit what I felt watching the most recent trailer. I was a little underwhelmed by the most recent trailer because I felt it lacked that Quentin Tarantino personality that maybe the previous trailer did have. But still, these are positive reviews. And the Cannes audience can be a very finicky audience. I mean, they've been known to boo as they're walking out of screenings early. Like literally, at these festivals, sometimes people, the French will stand up and boo as they're walking out an hour into the film. So they can be tough critics. They seem to embrace it and absolutely love it. What are you feeling like reading these responses? What's standing out to you?
Well, I mean, look, Quentin Tarantino is one of our, I think, most interesting filmmakers. I mean, he's one of the filmmakers that I'll turn out opening day for, along with Martin Scorsese and a number of others, because he brings something to film that we don't have from anyone else. And it's not just his encyclopedic knowledge of film and how he pays homage to many different kinds of genres of films, but it's what he does with the storytelling in his movies. He combines both high fantasy and verisimilitude, and there's a very interesting... when you taste a Quentin Tarantino movie, it's like a cake unlike no other. And I think that, look, if you like Pulp Fiction and you like Reservoir Dogs and you like Jackie Brown and Kill Bill, those lean heavily into crime, thriller, that kind of thing. And this is a different kind of movie than that, even though there's obviously elements of crime because Charles Manson's in it. I think this is going to be probably wind up being his most personal film, because as he talks about that this was 1969, where it takes place over 3 days in 1969, the summer of 69, was his most formative year as a child, and his love for cinema was cemented. So I'm really curious to see. You've got to read the Esquire interview with him, Brad Pitt, and Leonardo DiCaprio. I read it last night. It's a pretty long interview with all three of them. It's really insightful. And after looking at this, I think this is going to be different than any of his movies. And I think we're going to have to come to grips with it's not what you'd normally expect. It's kind of like when Scorsese did The Silence, you know, and it's probably going to be challenging. But I'm really excited about this movie. I think other than Infinity or Endgame, it's the movie I'm most excited about this summer. So we'll see.
You know, a number of the reactions were also saying that this movie felt very much like a love letter from Tarantino to the old art of filmmaking. But they also said it's pretty harsh. They also said he's very much attacking certain people and things. And it's like, okay, so that doesn't sound like Quentin Tarantino at all, of course. But so that's going to be interesting. I'm very intrigued to see this movie. Cannot wait for this thing to open. What do you guys make of the reactions that are coming out of cons for this movie? Are they right along the lines that you're expecting, or some things being said that might be causing you a little pause? Jump down in the comments section below and let us know your thoughts.